Ladies and gentlemen, just a few brief announcements before we begin. First of all, welcome to Theater for the New City and welcome to Where Do All the Ghosts Go? There will be one 10-minute intermission during this performance. In the unlikely event of an emergency, there are two exits I must bring to your attention. The first one is back the way you came in. The second one is in the rear right-hand corner of this auditorium. Either illuminated exit sign would lead you safely to the 10th Street sign of the building. Please take a moment right now, if you haven't done so already, to turn off or mute any cellular telephones or electronic devices. If it lights up or makes noise, please turn it off right now. Also, please, no photography, no flash photography, no cell phone photography, no photography or recording of any kind unless your name is Joe. Lastly, that's the guy here. Lastly, we at Theater for the New City have mounted a fundraising campaign to help us raise money to support our summer street theater program. Every Saturday and Sunday afternoon throughout the summer, beginning in August and ending in mid-September, 50 people or so show up at a different site in one of the 5 boroughs. They set up a stage and a sound system and bring in costumes and set pieces and present a free new musical to the community. Theater for the New City has been doing this for almost 50 years, and some of the sites that the city visits are low income and underserved areas, and in many cases people get their first exposure to live theater. Part of Theater for the New City's mission statement is to bring the community to the theater and to bring theater to the community. It's a very ambitious project, and our budget is over $55,000. We received some funding from the city, but the majority of the budget comes from contributions. And so we're looking for some assistance from good people like you. After the performance, someone will be at the door with a basket, me, probably, $8, $5, $100, or 75 cents, whatever you can spare. We're hoping that you can help us bring the theater to the community. And, oh, I lied, and absolute lastly, after the performance tonight, please stay for a Q&A with the cast, and we have guests here who were former residents of the St. Denis Hotel, which is where the play takes place. So you're all encouraged to stay and participate in what should be a lively discussion. Once again, thank you, welcome, and enjoy Where Do All the Ghosts Go?
When transplanted, feels the forest in its ignorant veins and suffers when its distant mates are hurt. So I here all alone, who knew you not, felt the distemper stirring in my blood, which even now lights the youth of France. Where are the living? I frightened them all away. Now Americans fear the dead. The French, they respect the departed. They welcome a visitation from beyond. So, haunting in France is no longer a challenge, is no longer enjoyable, but perhaps I've gone too far here in New York City, but where are the living? Oh! I'm an actor without an audience. No one to cheer and stand in gratitude. Oh, I do not deserve this isolation. 30,000 marched after my coffin in Paris. the same strength and gentleness as you touch to my body. Wow, viens ici. Come to me, je did in Belle-Île. Do you see what has become of me, Louise? Speaking to myself, always with pity for being without you.
Madam Sarah, what a performance! Brava!
What were you doing here?
My room is empty.
There are hundreds of other rooms for you to do whatever it is you do.
I was lonely, madame. In life, I was a breather. I liked living, breathing, better than working. My art was that of living.
Everyone breathes, and everyone lives. But to be an artist is more than just breathing. An audience is required when one's art is performing.
Despite your need for attention, you do not always need to perform, madam.
And you still feel the need to disturb others. You're afraid of living away with your tricks.
My art is nothing to fear. T'es-vous pas pris?
No, Marcel, speak English. We're in America, c'est vrai?
Ah oui, you are right, madame. Shall we have a game of chess? Perhaps it will bring us closer.
I have no wish to be closer to you. And I have more than a simple game of chess on my mind.
Chess is not simple. Oh, it has all the beauty of art and much more. In chess, there are some extremely beautiful things. It is the imagining of the movement or of the gesture that makes the beauty. It is the perfect occupation for the dead.
Monsieur Duchamp, I will not play chess. I have a problem to solve. I wish to solve it alone.
Perhaps I can assist.
Well, what do you see around you?
Well, just as in room 403, I see empty boxes and litter, empty chairs folded against a wall, a basket for trash, and empty walls that I will fill to astonish the living. Yes, I will leave strange art upon the wall.
Why strange? Is it art or is it not art?
A living person with no appreciation once called my gift graffiti and washed it away. That is like calling Leonardo a diddler.
Doodler. No, the Americans, they call it a doodler. I've heard this word.
Merci, madame. I will remember doodler if I am again dishonored.
But the living leave this building every day when it must be night. They return every day when it must be morning. But there are empty rooms, empty walls, everywhere I have appeared today. And so you have frightened them away with your tricks.
I forgive you, Columbia. And I repeat, my art is nothing to fear. There is joy in a toilet seat. The place where one is truly alone with one's thoughts and feelings, releasing the toxins of the day.
We have neither of us a need for that joy. It is one of the advantages of no longer living among the living.
Humor and laughter are my tools. I never take the world too seriously for fear of dying of boredom.
Fear of dying is impossible when one is already dead.
Touché, madame. What is art but a habit-forming drug?
I think you are jealous of my fans.
Of course not, Madam Sarah. I have my own.
30,000 followed my coffin. Spare me your jealousy.
Oh, you flatter yourself. My intention was always to get away from myself, even though I knew that I was losing myself. Even now, caught in eternity, we have our thoughts and feelings.
Oh, spare me your feelings, Marcel.
Just today, or perhaps it was last year, or a moment ago, I cannot tell the passing time. I had this thought. What if we are not the invisible ones? What if the living are invisible to us?
Then why are their belongings still visible? Huh? Our clothing is invisible when we wish it to be, so why not theirs? What do you see here? Huh?
What? Oh, so beautiful. How did I not see it? Once again, your perception outweighs my own.
We are visible when we wish to be. I cannot believe that the living, with all of their vanity, would not wish to be seen by us.
Shall I tell you what I created in room 403 when I was alive?
You have told me many times, Marcel. No,
I
it's not
created a
convenient.
masterpiece there, unlike anything else I created. She was en fin de bout. I rested her on a
Madame Keckley! Well,
Bonsoir, Madame Keckley. If it is indeed evening. Will Miss Lincoln be joining us tonight?
On these premises, she is Miss Clark, but Miss Clark is never here.
Oh, perhaps she is at the theater.
She is never at the theater, in life or in death, since her great loss.
He knows that Madame Keckley is only showing off as he did in life.
What purpose is there for an artist if not to show off, as you call it? Madame Sarah had no equal in her showmanship.
You are still here, Marcel, despite my wishes. Madame Keckley, please, would you sit down?
I would have wished that Mrs. Lincoln were here, but for my sake only, not her own. Madame Sarah, you played many roles which required male apparel. I see you dressed so tonight.
Ah, Léon, the son of Napoleon Bonaparte. One of my more favorite roles, not as popular or timid, but very well received.
Of course.
It was my job to play roles, whether men or women. I was devoted to my art. My fans love me for that.
I would have loved to dress you in a gown of my own design, of course.
Oh, I would have welcomed that, Madame Keckley. Have we known each other then?
Thank you for saying so, Madame Sarah. My designs were well received, but I often closed my shop early when Mrs. Lincoln needed my help. I could not deny her.
But why is it, Madame Keckley, that you have appeared in this room?
I get satisfaction in death that I was never afforded in life.
No, there is little satisfaction for us in death. Only in simple tricks we play on the living. What satisfaction can you find that eludes the rest of us?
Madame Keckley, please tell me why it is, at this time, you have decided to appear in this room.
I'll be pleased to do so. Mrs. Lincoln selected this hotel. Although I knew it would be impossible to secure the rooms requested, and I was correct, I was forbidden any room here at all.
Oh, travesty.
Mrs. Lincoln insisted that we have adjoining rooms. She is a friend of mine, and you cannot give a room to a more worthy person. A friend of yours or not, the clerk said. We have no room for her on this floor. I can find a place for her on the 5th floor.
C'est dommage.
Mrs. Lincoln refused for us to be separated. If she shall go to the 5th floor, I shall go too, sir. What is good enough for her is good enough for me.
Elle était un bon femme.
We were both sent to the 5th floor. They did not know that she was the widow of our beloved president, although I doubt it would have softened their hardened hearts.
As the degrading treatment of honorable ladies.
I was quite accustomed to it, madame, like others of my race, but Mrs. Lincoln was beside herself, especially when they refused to feed me.
Sacrilege! Never in France would that be allowed.
It was only with the utmost persistence that I convinced her that it was unsafe and that one night without food would do me no harm. I could not have asked for a better, more considerate patroness than Mrs. Lincoln. It touched my heart when she considered me a friend. I miss her dearly.
Oh, I understand. But that still does not explain why you or Marcel are gathered with me here now. This is not the top floor.
I enjoy in death what I was denied in life. It gives me pleasure to inhabit the room of my choosing. Just now, I had the urge to choose this room.
As did I. May I interest you, Madame Keckley, in a game of chess to take your mind from such memories?
Oh, no thank you, Monsieur Duchamp. I have not the concentration needed for it.
Again, he makes his telephone call. He's like a child with a dog.
If brings enough time, someone will answer.
Oh, that infernal ringing! It would drive me to my death were I still alive.
He's just proud of his invention. Bonjour, Bill.
You don't see me coming in here with a passel of dead cowboys and Indians. There are Turks, Arabs, and warriors I can summon, but I don't.
What brings you to this room, Monsieur Cole?
Well, damned if I know. Pardon my language, ladies. That sound cuts right through me.
You see that Madame Keckley and Marcel are here.
My room is empty. It's deserted. I have never played to an empty house. Though there were hundreds in my show and thousands that came and watched us perform. We traveled the world, brought the world back here.
Oh, we know that bit.
You rejected my offer for the European tour. Frenchie would have been just a thing, although we never had any trouble selling tickets.
I had my own tours. I had my own theater in Paris. I had thousands and thousands around the world who waited for my appearance. not need to ride their horse around an arena.
My friends always came when I called. Always there to join my shows. Chief Sitting Bull brought his braves. And when they went back to the reservation, they're supposed to be for a visit. There weren't no call to kill the chief. He wasn't making trouble for the army.
My condolences for your loss, Mr. Cody.
Thank you, man. I missed him somewhat fierce. The greatest of all the Sioux in my time or any time was that wonderful old warrior. I lost my heart for putting on shows for a spell, but I persisted anyway for the sake of those who needed the shows.
I've read not seen them. I timed it and I'll allow it.
The ladies looked at their bows with different eyes when they saw what Annie Oakley could do with a gun. And Calamity Jane, well, she was mad at me for a spell for telling folks that she and my pal Hickok weren't actually married like she claimed. Wild Bill was killed. He couldn't say nothing about it.
Well, I tell you, the truth can change with each person.
Just as objects become art in each setting.
Oh, not every object is art.
Calamity came around again after a bit. She and the chief, they have their own special haunts. I suspect somewhere out west. I hope the chief is at peace.
We are none of us at peace. We can only find some place in eternity where we found some happiness, but this place and this room.
Well, the engines that died in London, they're all probably haunting the Brompton Cemetery. It was hard on some being in a foreign land, getting sick. And the baby was the worst. Burying a child away from home is the worst.
Mon ami, while we await the living to arrive, shall we continue our game of chess to pass the time? And Madame Sarah knows I'm a victim of chess. There's all the beauty of art and much more.
Suits me. And I look forward to my luck changing this time.
We will use the set I designed.
I don't mind that at all.
But must you use this room? Can you not find another?
I remember where we left the
I trust you, my friend. If not, I remember how to use this.
Oh, touché. You jest, of course. You cannot kill the dead. I believe this is where we left off last time. My knight to F3.
Ah. My knight, C6.
Bishop to C4.
Madam Keckley, do you not wonder at all the empty rooms? Have you visited them all?
Not all, but all the rooms that I entered were empty.
Buongiorno,
Mio amici!
Bienvenue, Mademoiselle Larson.
The Baroness de Borte Salmo, if you please, and Etoile is Alice Lanson. You obviously cannot spell.
I prefer Miss Larson. Or should I say Miss Larceny?
That is slander.
Marcel, arrêtez. Baroness, what brings you to this room?
I was looking for the living. They're not yet here. Welcome, Baroness. Grazie, Mrs. Keckley.
It seems they have disappeared from all the rooms.
Perhaps the Baroness has stolen them.
It was not my doing. It was a misunderstanding. I was accused of being a commandite, but they were lies. A baroness has no need of other people's property. They were gifts.
I believe it was your husband who identified
The
you.
scoundrel? The liar? He claimed the humiliation for his own.
Marcel, s'il vous plaît, leave the gentlewoman to her histoire.
Merci, Madame Sarah. You honor me with your defense, as I was honored in life to use only Pear's soap.
Qu'est-ce que c'est Pear's soap?
Madame Sarah recommended Pear's soap, and I followed her advice.
Well, I was paid very well for it. But why anyone would need my advice on how to wash, I will never understand.
Oh, you are beautiful. Many wish to know your beauty secrets.
Bishop to C5.
Baroness, we are never in the same room at the same time as the living. Where do you think they have gone? Where are they living?
The building was closed once before. Maybe it's closed again.
Oh, I remember that terrible time. All the belongings of the guests were gone. Nothing but empty rooms. It was so sad. I hope this time is different.
Bound to be so.
It is a mystery.
I don't pay no matter to such things.
It is curious.
It is not all of us who are here. Barely some are making noise. Who knows where the others are? The anarchists, the writers.
Right That was stupid. She would have told me if she found it. I'm positive it's here.
If it's so important, why did you wait until today to remember it? We haven't been here in like 6 weeks.
I thought it was in the drawer, so I didn't think about it. Stop interrogating me.
I'm not interrogating, I'm just trying to help. I'm not gonna cry over a scarf, I hope.
It's my favorite scarf.
It's just a scarf to me.
It isn't just a scarf. It's the scarf that you gave me on our first anniversary when I took you to Paris. It's a French scarf, and it's my favorite.
I'll get you a new one.
I want that one. You gave it to me. It's from Paris. I've had it for 5 years.
Okay, well, the guard said we could come to this room to look. It isn't here, let's go. This building is giving me the creeps.
I love this building. I thought you liked it too. It's a beautiful building.
I never said it isn't, but it's a beautiful empty building and it's giving me the creeps.
It's so sad, isn't it? All those hours we spent in this room and now nothing but empty boxes and old stuff left behind. It's like a metaphor for our marriage.
Wow, that is a terrible thing to say. All the money and time we spend in this room for nothing?
You called me passive aggressive.
I never called you that. Millie called you that. We paid her to call you that.
Are you sure? Because I thought that I remembered that you called me that.
Never. It was Millie. She wasn't a very good therapist after all.
She helped me get over writer's
She
block.
made you cry.
She released my emotional inhibitions. My imagination was free.
You didn't need her help. You have the biggest imagination of anyone I've ever known.
Well, that's easy for you to say. You don't have a deadline from your publisher, and you're not stuck on chapter 3.
You've never missed a deadline in all the years we've been together. And if you have a deadline, why are we here looking for a scarf? It's not my fault when you don't feel like writing.
Well, there's a deadline to find my scarf, isn't there? I have to find it today. What about that? You're the one who's being passive-aggressive. You were like that when we met.
I don't remember it that way, and neither do you.
Don't tell me how I remember you.
Excuse me. I remember very well the day we first met. It was at the train station in Sayville.
The station was closed.
And you were sitting all alone on a bench on the platform.
There were people waiting at the other end.
But I didn't notice anyone else after I saw you, because I was smitten.
Smitten.
Mm-hmm. You know, like those characters in your novel? I thought you must be coming from Fire Island like me. Nobody lives in Sayville.
I grew up in Sayville.
I just always thought it was the last stop before people got on the Fire Island ferry.
You asked me if I was coming from Fire Island, and when I said no, you looked so disappointed.
I was.
Sayville is a perfectly fine place to grow up in. My parents still live there. I was visiting them.
I just wonder, are there any lesbians in Sayville who aren't just there to get to the Fire Island ferry?
There are lesbians everywhere.
Ugh, not in Cedar Hills, Pennsylvania, not since I left. The name fits you if you're queer.
Are you... Am I what?
You know what I mean. Have you ever been with a woman? Do you have a girlfriend? Will you be my girlfriend? I think I'm in love with you.
You didn't waste any time, did you?
No, I was so afraid that the train would come and I would never see you again.
So was I.
I decided to let you board first so I could sit next to you. I was afraid if I board first, you'd sit somewhere else and our relationship would end before it started.
You never told me that. That was very clever of you.
Honey, I promise, for our 10th anniversary, I'll take you back to Paris and I'll buy you the most beautiful scarf.
The second most beautiful.
Okay.
I lost the first one.
Can we go now?
There is a thief in the building.
What is it?
Did you feel that?
Feel what?
Nothing. Never mind. Let them be.
Someone should tell them.
Let's go.
No, wait, what did you feel?
No, just a feeling. I don't know. Let's go.
Jeez, Frankie, I didn't feel anything, and I can't believe you're trying to get me to leave before I find my scarf. There's nobody here but us and the guard at the entrance.
You know what? Maybe Millie took your scarf when she was packing. She probably didn't remember who it belonged to, so she took it home.
I'm staying. I'm going to find my scarf.
Great. You and your ghost.
There could be ghosts. This is a very old building.
Old buildings have old wiring and pipes that go bump in and out. Dangerous things. It's not ghost.
Don't you think they upgraded the building since it's been built? It has an elevator and electric lights.
I don't see a smoke detector or a sprinkler. What about that? What if there's a fire? I mean, look at all the flammable trash that's all around us. I don't have to believe in ghosts to be spooked in here. The only place that ghosts exist are in books like yours.
Defend stupid.
I don't know what your name calling is, but it's uncalled for in my opinion.
Mr. Cody is right.
Ha! Look at you! You are freaking out. The scientist does so believe in ghosts. You do believe.
It is not freaking out to worry about getting caught in a fire, okay? We're not stuck in one of your fantasies. This is real life, a real possibility, not fiction.
My fantasies sell very well, thank you very much. Lots of people buy them and like my books. I thought you liked them.
I never said I didn't.
All you ever talk about is how well they're selling.
No, I don't. I really like them. I do.
Which is your favorite?
All of them.
That's not an answer, and you can't tell me because you haven't read them.
Well, that's because you read all of them to me when you finish writing them.
That's not the same thing.
Okay, I promise I'll read the next one by myself.
Don't humor me.
I promise, and then we can go home now, and you can start writing about ghosts in a deserted old building in Greenwich Village.
I can't believe you're such a scaredy cat. You say that I'm the nervous one?
Well, on our first date, you were terrified.
I was not.
Yes, you were. You brought me wine, flowers, and a plant.
I couldn't decide what to bring, and the plant was lovely. I wasn't terrified. I was being considerate, polite. You were making dinner. I'm sorry now that I was misunderstood.
Oh, no. It was very charming. So sweet. I fell in love.
Did you hear that?
No,
Someone else is here.
I didn't hear anything.
It was a bell, like an old telephone, a landline.
No. How would you know what an old telephone sounds like?
From the old movies. The ones you always fall asleep watching with me.
I can't believe you like those and you watch them over and over.
They're classic.
They're old. Okay, can we go home? It's so empty in here.
Go if you want. I'm not stopping you.
And leave you to the mercy of the ghost? Never. Jocelyn, come to me.
Stop that.
I can be a ghost too.
This isn't funny. I'm not leaving without my scarf.
Do you want me to make dinner tonight?
Suit yourself. You always do.
Wow. You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. I am a selfish narcissist and I'm going. And when you give up on that scarf, I'll have dinner waiting for you.
Go. Leave me here.
Okay.
Millie says it takes two to make passive aggression successful.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Go! I won't leave without my scarf, and I can make my own dinner. I can't leave. I'm stuck on chapter 3. Frankie, I'm sorry. I can't leave.
I cannot bear the crying. I must concentrate.
You are a woman? Go to her.
Perhaps you should go to her.
Okay, well, I'll go.
No, we have a game to finish.
No, very well, I will go to her. Paris is lovely, n'est-ce pas? Especially for lovers.
Where did you come from? Were you listening?
I've been here.
Did you hear everything? Was that you who rang the telephone?
Oh, nothing.
Wait a second. I didn't see you until just now, so how long have you really been here?
Well, I arrived in 1923 from across the ocean in France. 30,000 miles from me in Paris.
You're pulling my leg.
Marcel, qu'est-ce que c'est pulling my leg?
It means teasing.
Oh, An interesting turn of phrase. Oh, but you see, I never tease. That is not part of my nature. Oh, unless the part, of course, the part calls for it.
Who is Marcel?
C'est moi, mademoiselle.
How did you get there?
We have all been here for a very long time.
You too.
Madame Keckley the longest.
Since 1907.
You are funny, any of you. Trying to make me think I'm going stark raving mad. There are no ghosts, they are a superstition, that is all. So go away and find someone else in another room to bother.
Well, we cannot say if you are mad, but I can assure you we are ghosts.
I can see you. You don't look like ghosts.
Oh, well, should we look if not like ourselves?
Ghosts are scary, and I'm not afraid of you, any of you. So just leave me alone.
Maybe the lass is right. What about the ghosts of assassins or thieves?
They go to hell. They do not show up just like it's Halloween.
Capture your bishop.
Ah, if only religious people believe in hell, my dear. There's no way to end up there if you don't believe in it. Bond to C3.
Ghosts are grotesque, and they smell terrible. The devil has an awful smell too, like in The Exorcist.
Qu'est-ce que c'est The Exorcist?
It's an old movie about the devil taking over a child's body.
It is disgusting.
She spins her head all the way around and spews up green stuff like vomit.
Charming.
It was a major hit. Now it's like a classic. Well, almost.
Nonsense. The moving pictures I made are classics, and I'm not the devil, I am a celebrity.
I'll play along. So, what movies are you, were you in? If you're so famous, how come I don't recognize you? I see a lot of old movies.
Oh, then surely you'll remember my duel with Lealities when I played Hamlet.
You played Hamlet.
Many times. Among others, Camille, Adrian Lecouvreur.
Oh. Garbo never played Hamlet, so you must be the ghost of Sarah Bernhardt. You're kidding, right? You don't look anything like Sarah Bernhardt.
How should I look if not like myself?
I've never seen any of the movies you mentioned. The ones with Bernhardt. Glenda Jackson played Bernhardt, and I have the DVD, and I've seen it at least 3 times, and you don't look anything like her at all.
Jackson is not a French name.
She's English. She's very good in all the movies she made.
She is no more me than I am Hamlet or Camille, and to think that I have become a character in a moving picture played by an English woman. Oh, this moving picture must have been terrible.
It's very good. It's about the Dreyfus affair.
It was a stain upon the French, no matter what my son Maurice said.
Maurice.
I love him, but he can be a fool. And he turned against his mother and denied our Jewish heritage.
Sarah Bernhardt was Jewish?
No, I'm Catholic. I was baptized by my mother as an enfant, but that does not wash away who I am. No, this English woman, this Jackson.
She's also a member of the British Parliament.
Oh. I'm Napoleon Bonaparte.
This is ridiculous.
Oh.
I don't believe you're a ghost, any of you. I wrote about ghosts, a whole series of novels, bestsellers, and I did research for them, and none of you are acting like ghosts. This is a prank, and I won't be fooled.
Marcel, help me to convince her.
Let her believe or not believe, we have a game to finish.
Monsieur Cody.
Well, make my next move. I'm still thinking about this.
Perhaps I can help. Ask us a question, dear. We'll answer honestly.
All right. Fair enough. Can you see yourself in a mirror? If you're a ghost, then you can't, and I'll bet you can. What about shapeshift? Can you do that?
Oh, you mean like getting fat? Well, not anymore, child. All I have is the memory of food. So I can eat all the buffalo steaks I want and not have to kill any buffalo. Bishop G8.
Well, Can you turn into smoke and go through keyholes?
Good heavens, no.
I didn't think so.
Why would we want to go through a keyhole?
Some ghosts have been known to do that, like in books and movies.
I have never made such an entrance.
I wrote a book too, my dear. A memoir. Tell me again, what is the kinds of books that you write?
A series of ghost stories and fantasies.
You write dreams?
No, that's not what I meant. And you're trying to change the subject? Can you leave a footprint? Are you waiting to be reincarnated into a human's bodies?
We are human.
I don't know what else to ask you. I mean, just because I write about ghosts doesn't mean I believe in them. I've never actually seen a ghost, especially not like all of you. If she is Sarah Bernhardt, then who are the rest of you supposed to be?
I am the artist Marcel Duchamp. On to B5. My chess opponent is Buffalo Bill.
William F. Cody, impresario extraordinaire.
I am Elizabeth Keckley, companion to Mrs. Lincoln before her death.
Miss Lincoln, like as in President Abraham Lincoln?
Yes. She needed my assistance after the assassination when she was abandoned by the country for which she sacrificed so much.
Right. Okay. So, assuming that I believe you, and I'm not saying for sure that I do, why are you still here? I mean, everyone's gone. They're going to tear down the building. Where will you go when they tear it down? Like, how does that work? Do you vanish into thin air? I mean, you can't die if you're already dead. So what happens to you when the building is demolished? Did you do that? Stop it, you're freaking me out.
No, it is you who are freaking us out. They can't tear down our home.
Well, they can, and they will. They're demolishing lots of old buildings all over New York. You should see what's going up in their place. I mean, can you live in a new building if it's on the same site? Like, how does that work? I know. Do you need someone to do a brave act for you, like in the movie, The Canterville Ghost, so you can finally rest in peace? Please stop doing that! You're trying to scare me. You're doing a really good job of it.
Let's all settle down. Now, how do you know all this news that you tell us?
And it is you who are frightening us with this terrible news. Did you know about this? What do alas?
Why did you come here to frighten us? We do no harm to anyone.
I didn't come here to frighten you. Please don't make the lights do that again.
So you see the power we have. Do you believe us now?
All right, you're a ghost. Just stop with the lighting tricks, please. Can I touch you?
Leave me alone.
I need to know it, and maybe if I touch you, please. Oh, jeez, you're freezing cold.
No, I'm dead.
I'm sorry. Truly, I am. Maybe there's other buildings you can live in. I mean, hunt? Inhabit? I'm sorry, I don't know.
We were so happy here. We had so many rooms to share and so many people who came here. Marcel, do you remember the revolutionaries who used to meet here?
What about my beautiful work stolen from room 403?
Young people, they were going to change the world, and where are they now? And the healers who were here when the building had its French name, the Saint-Denis.
What will become of us?
I wish I could help. Frankie would know how to help. She'd know what to do.
Who's Frankie?
She's my wife. She was here with me. We had an argument, a stupid argument. My fault, like always.
You married a woman?
Sure. We had our first anniversary in Paris.
But how is this possible?
I love Paris, and I wanted Frankie to see it.
No. The marriage, how is that possible?
dear, but you said that your friend or
My wife. We had a big argument about coming here, but I guess you heard that.
You married a woman who makes you cry.
I don't blame her. Sometimes I can be really self-centered. Like now, I'm feeling sorry for myself and you're all so upset. Frankie would know what to do. She likes helping people, she does. She opens her heart to everyone, not like me. She even let her cousin stay with us when she left her husband. She and her 2 little kids. Frankie never complained. I mean, well, not until one of the boys took her phone and started playing with it and deleted all of her contacts. But even then...
excuse me, my dear.
What?
How can she help us?
She's a scientist. It's her job, solving problems. I don't really understand what she does. It's very high-tech. She tried to explain it to me a couple of times, but I just pretended to get it. But I was just pretending because I didn't want to hurt her feelings. I love her so much.
Excuse me, child, but she can't help us if she's not here, can she?
This is incredible.
If she is like you say, perhaps she'll agree to help us, or at least try.
I'm sure she'll agree. I could ask her. Do you want me to ask her?
We agree, ask her.
I'll text her. That's what I'll do. Let me see if I have any service.
Ooh. Look at this miracle, this work of art. Oh, you know what? I will paint one on the wall in room 403. No one will be there to see it.
The letters look almost like a typewriter. Is it a modern typewriter?
It's a tablet.
Oh, where do you put the paper in?
It doesn't need paper.
Kind of like smoke signals.
Didn't any other tenants you want have like a tablet or a smartphone?
How does this miracle work?
I'll show you. I type in Frankie's name and whatever I want to say. Like this. I need your help, darling. I'm still here where you left me. And when I finished my message, I just pressed send. Hey, did one of you do that? You sent my message and I wasn't finished. I'm so sorry. You're not passive aggressive. I didn't mean it. It's just the writer's block. Hey, stop that!
go home. I went looking for your scarf in other rooms, but I couldn't find it.
Oh, Frankie, you did that for me. I care about you more than some old scarf.
All the rooms I looked in are empty, cleaned out, except for some old furniture and trash left in here.
I didn't mean what I said. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I guess sometimes I just get scared that you're gonna leave me.
Well, you are a little exasperating sometimes, but I have my share of stupid, you know. That's how we belong together. Are they cutting off the electricity? Okay, I think it's time for us to go home.
No, it's not Con Ed. It's the ghosts. They make the lights flicker when they're upset.
What ghost?
Can't you see them?
No, stop it, and neither can you.
No, I can't see them. They're all here.
Where? Where am I supposed to see them, and how many are there?
4.
4 ghosts. Sure, silly me.
Can you help her see? I don't know how to do that.
Who are you talking to? There's nobody here.
Just trust me on this. It's important. They need our help, your help.
All right, I'll trust you if that's what you want. Now, who am I supposed to see?
Sarah Bernhardt.
Sarah Bernhardt, of course. I should have known. Okay, bonjour, Sarah Bernhardt.
Don't make fun. This is serious. You weren't even looking at her.
Who was I looking at?
Buffalo Bill.
Not the Wild Bill.
No, ma'am, I am Cody. And he is Hickok, wherever he is haunted.
She can't hear you. You don't have to do that.
Old habits die hard, even for the dead. King to F3.
She was just guessing, pretending she can't really see or hear you. He is Buffalo Bill Cody, not Wild Bill Hickok.
Okay, well, tell him I'm sorry.
Tell him yourself. He can hear you.
Okay, babe, you are scaring me, and I think we should go home now.
Listen, remember that time you went to Coney Island and you saw someone you thought you knew and you got really upset?
Yeah, Charlie. I remember we were walking down the boardwalk, and I looked toward the arcade, and I saw Charlie, but it couldn't be. He died when we were 15. He was my best friend.
You turned pale like you had seen a ghost. Well, maybe he was a ghost.
Okay, that's impossible. A car hit his bike, and he died in the hospital.
How can you be so sure? How do you know it wasn't Charlie? How do you know ghosts aren't real? Maybe if you believe in them, you could see them too.
Okay, I'm not Peter Pan, you're not Wendy, and Tinkerbell won't die if we don't believe in her.
Just try to, please.
Stop it. You know I can't say no to you when you look at me like, stop it. But I can't see what is there, and if I can't see it, then what good is it?
You can try.
I can't pretend to see them, can I? And even if I could, how can I help them, and why me?
Because you're the nicest, cleverest, smartest human being I've ever met. That's why you. Look, someday soon we'll go back to Coney Island and we'll look for Charlie. You haven't been there since you saw him. I love you. I love you more.
Well, wherever you are, Buffalo Bill or Sarah Bernhardt, I'll be right with you. All right, let's state the problem first, then the obstacle, then the options, and finally the solution.
I told you she was smart.
Okay, I don't know if you're talking to me or one of them.
I'll be careful.
Right, now the problem is demolition.
Gentrification.
Why don't you point at each one of them and tell me where you're pointing at?
That's a great idea. That is Sarah Bernhardt, Madam Sarah. That is Miss Keckley, and those two sitting across from each other are William Covey, he's Buffalo Bill, and Marcel Duchamp, the artist. They're playing chess.
Invisible chess?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Why did you all pick this place to haunt?
Inhabit. The correct word is inhabit.
Inhabit.
And why do you need to know that?
Because then we can find another place for them to inhabit.
It's a building where I was happy.
Bill says he was happy here.
I had unfinished business in this building.
Miss Keckley had unfinished business in this building.
There are many walls for me to doodle on to annoy the living.
That makes sense. Marcel likes to doodle on the wall. Madam Sarah?
Je ne sais. I don't know.
Maybe Frankie can help you figure it out. She can read all about you.
Oh, you were talking to them.
Frankie types in a name, does a Google search, and we see what comes up about your life. And then maybe we can figure out where you want to go next.
What is this, Google?
It's a search engine.
Where's the motor? But inside the machine.
Frankie?
Well, I think we should do one ghost at a time. What about Buffalo Bill?
Oh, I defer to the ladies. I may be deceased, but I remember my good manners.
You'll finish our game while the ladies are assisted.
Well, which one of you would like to go first?
Madam Keckley, please.
Oh, with respect, Madame Sarah, I'll prefer the way.
No, Madam Keckley, I insist.
Very well. Thank you.
What's happening?
They decided who would go first. They decided Miss Keckley.
Right. Okay, how does she spell that?
Elizabeth Keckley with L-E-Y at the end.
Elizabeth Keckley,
Mhm.
K-E-C-K-L-E-Y. Is that correct?
How should I? Okay, we were talking to her.
That is correct.
It's correct.
Okay, found it. She was born a slave, bought her freedom. Wow, she became a dress designer in D.C., upscale clientele like Mrs. Jefferson Davis.
Oh, that must have been before the Civil War.
She was a companion to Mrs. Lincoln, first in the White House and then after the assassination. She wrote a book about her, then they had a fallout, didn't speak for a long time.
Oh, that
There
is
was a
not
lot of
correct. We had a
criticism.
misunderstanding.
It's
Only
like
briefly we
five,
parted as
six
friends
people
at
did
the end.
letters.
I can't understand you if you're both talking at the same time.
Who else is talking?
Miss K, you said it was a misunderstanding.
Right, okay, well, there's more. She died without family.
My son deceased me.
She had a son who died first.
In the Civil War.
You see, it was my son's whiteness that killed him, not a few drops of blackness that he got from me. I did not wish to give him life. I was required to be with his father. Offered to him like some concubine. He was violent, mean. George was his son, but God knows I did not wish him dead. He was my child, too.
Losing a baby, leaving a grown one or someone else's young one can break your heart. It's a sorrow I have felt many times before.
I would have wished that he outlived me, but it was not to be. His death is a wound that will always be with me.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you for saying so, my dear.
Is there more?
He joined a white regiment in the Northern Army and died in battle in 1861. He was a hero, and she was buried in the Columbian Harmony Cemetery.
The cemetery closed in 1960. They moved my remains.
They moved her remains in 1960 when they closed the cemetery.
You see how I was dishonored and neglected like others of my race?
She says she was dishonored and neglected.
Is she reading over my shoulder? She's really cold.
Oh, they all are. Ooh, you could feel that.
Yeah, did she leave?
Yes.
Thanks. Ask her where she wants to go next.
She can hear you.
Right.
Excuse me if I'm not being too personal, but were both of your parents black? Sometimes the plantation owner was the father.
My parents were Agnes and George Hobbs. Mr. Burwell was the master.
You could check your DNA. Oh, wait, you can't. You need a tissue sample to do that. I thought you could know for sure.
What is that, my dear DNA?
If you're close relatives, you share the same genetic marker, something like that. It's proof you're related. Frankie, help me explain DNA.
You're doing fine.
I had to buy my freedom from the years of Mr. Burwell.
Would have showed them right if you showed up after death to tell them you had the same DNA as them. The heirs to the plantation owner.
Well, this entry here says that her father was really Burwell, so her son with a white man would be mostly wives. Okay, I don't like talking about this.
What a word. Injustice. Grateful for chess.
Maybe you could go back to the plantation, and then when you want to go somewhere else, you can leave. Yes.
I would like that.
That would be justice indeed, wouldn't it? To inhabit the place of my enslavement. No longer a slave.
To walk where I please as a free woman. To sit at the table where I serve. To walk the floors I wash. To sit on the porch in the master's chair. No longer his property. No longer his slave.
There.
What happened?
Is she gone?
Positively, absolutely, undeniably, and completely gone. Without even a goodbye.
Wow, she's gone.
I wish her well.
I believe we all do.
Oh, je suis ruined. Bill, you've exposed my error and defeated me. I will never play chess again.
You win some, you lose some, don't mean you have to quit.
Ah, it was just exaggeration. Cannot imagine eternity without chess. Would be hell, and I have not earned such a fate.
I believe I could go next if you all don't mind.
Please, suits me.
Of course, Mr. Cody.
Thank you, ma'am.
Buffalo Bill wants to go next.
Okay, give me a minute.
How did you do that? The next game, if there is one, will be mine.
Tell us what you remember about coming here.
I was in Denver when I passed. I closed my eyes until I heard my friend call out for me in Lakota, Masukalake, little brother. I opened my eyes and there he was in all of his tribal finery, a chief, leader of many warriors, and a beloved brother to me. He looked surprised to see me, even sad because he knew it meant I crossed over. He held out his hand to me, and I reached for him, but I closed my eyes to hold the tears back, and when I opened them, he was gone. And I was in London, at the cemetery where the poor dead Indian baby lay in the foreign earth. My heart was sore at the memory of his sickness, how no medicine saved him, white or Indian. I blame myself for letting them carry a baby across the sea for the Englishers to stare at, and them just looking at him like he was from some other world. I guess maybe he was.
I'm so sorry.
What did we know about the Indians, about their history, about their lives that we took so easy like, so we could steal their land and call it civilization? Shame on me for my part in it. And I closed my eyes in shame, and when I opened them, here I was in New York City. All alone.
Can I read this now?
Okay.
What do you got there?
Okay, Buffalo Bill started working at the age of 11.
Yeah, when my pa died.
Sorry.
What for?
I was telling Bill I was sorry his father died.
Right. Well, he became a writer for the Pony Express at age 14. He joined the Union Army. From 1863 till the end of the war, he was an Army Scout during the Indian Wars and received a Medal of Honor award in 1872 for gallantry.
One of the proudest of my accomplishments.
Oh wait, it was revoked in 1917 when Congress authorized the War Department to revoke all Medal of Honor awards it considered dubious. Leave it to Congress to do something like that?
You see, my friend, how insignificant such honors are, and compared to ours.
Speak for yourself. That was significant to me. I wasn't an artist.
Marcel only speaks for himself, and we are fortunate for that.
Ma'am, it's best if you keep your distance.
Was he here behind us?
Oh, Buffalo Bill is leaning over to see what you're looking at, and I reached for him.
My apologies to you and your friend.
My wife.
sentences.
Is there anything on where he wants to go next? Mr. Cody, why don't you brainstorm with this?
Well, begging your pardon, you'll have to explain that to me.
Just means you say whatever comes to mind out loud, and maybe between us, we can figure out where you want to go. What about your family?
Wife and I were happy, unhappy, together and apart. We couldn't stay put with each other. It didn't help on losing the babies.
What is he saying? He and his family, his wife, were always arguing.
But you know, it didn't mean that there weren't no love in between the fights.
Listen to this. The residents of Cody, Wyoming, insisted that he would be buried in the town that he founded. Now his wife and daughters claimed that he always wanted to be buried on Lookout Mountain, and his sister Mary selected a place on Lookout Mountain, and that's where he was interred.
Good for me, Mary was always the stubborn one.
So, do you have any idea where you want to go?
Well, after seeing what can happen to a building, best place for me is probably the outdoors, out on the prairie. Watching the sun rise, sun set behind the foothills. I might even find an old friend out there. Dead blasted Graham Bell and his telephone. He don't give a whit who he's disturbing. This cowboy's had enough. Ladies, I thank you kindly.
I'm taking my leave and heading out west. Ain't no telephones on the prairie.
Do my friend.
He's gone. Oh, I heard that sound again. It's supposed to be Alexander Graham Bell.
Yet we all don't pay him any mind. It was just Bill who couldn't take the sound.
Listen, Bell made his first public demonstration of his telephone in this building in New York.
He thinks if he rings enough times, a ghost will answer.
Yeah, enough about that. Who shall be next?
Marcel, please.
Merci, madame.
Clear.
I am curious to see what fate awaits me.
Marcel Duchamp is next.
Okay, you have to spell that for me.
D-U-C-H-A-M-P.
You sure?
Sacrebleu.
I'm sure.
Could have fooled me. Wow.
What are you reading?
Have you heard of this guy?
Yeah. Tell me you haven't.
Listen to this, what he's famous for. Ready-mades. He took everyday commercial objects and claimed that when he put them in a different setting, they became art.
Any object can be art.
Not every object is art.
That machine can be a work of art.
Oh, it is a machine. It's just a
Excuse
machine.
me. Hey, can we continue? Frankie.
Okay, well, he took a urinal, turned it upside down, signed it with a fake name, and called it Fountain.
He's famous for that.
How do you know that?
I took art history class in college. I told you that. When we were in Paris, remember? We went to the Louvre and to the Cluny and to the
I remembered if there was anything else in Paris besides the Eiffel Tower and museums, and we didn't see any urinals in them. They were probably in the men's room where they belong.
I'm sorry you were so bored.
I wasn't bored.
You should have said something. You didn't look bored. I couldn't tell.
You were enjoying it too much. How can I be bored seeing that? Besides that, we saw other things like the sand and the clubs where we went dancing and the flea markets.
Oh, we got this scar.
Well, I don't want to interrupt, mes amis, but in fact I do.
Marcel is eating his dish on.
Really? Too bad. You know what? We can be artists too. I'll buy a bidet, turn it upside down, and call it spray. Make us a fortune. Of course, we have to sign a man's name on it.
Your friend is very droll.
I told you she's my wife.
You have met your match, Marcel. She has exposed your exploitation of art, your fraud.
What did he say? He called you my friend. And Sarah Burkhart is agreeing with you.
No kidding. Leave it to a man to think that a urinal's art. I guess anything his dick can use is precious to him.
Touché, mademoiselle. Ah, pardon, madame.
This is getting ridiculous. I think we should go home now.
Non, I like your friend.
I told you she's my wife. Okay, what are you two talking about?
Says he likes you.
Really?
Oh, if I were still painting, I would paint her. An apple on the back of the machine.
It's an Apple tablet. That's the logo. The brand.
What are you two talking about?
This is so annoying. Why can't you hear what he's saying?
I don't know. What is he saying?
Never mind.
What?
He says he wants to paint you.
In a garden. Ooh, surrounded with fallen leaves. Her legs spread. The white of her skin in contrast to the color of the leaves. The apple in her hand reaching up as if with an offering to the viewer, with a bite missing like the logo, and the juice and the seed dripping down from the tablet onto her arm and onto her naked body.
I don't like that.
Pourquoi pas? It is an homage to Eve and Eden. Yes, I would paint the modern Eve who offers the apple not to Adam, but to Lilith as a token of her affection.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Oh,
Let's
no,
go.
no, no, no. Do not allow him to drive you away. He is harmless. He is rude, but he is harmless.
Oh, au contraire, artists are dangerous.
Oh, you live to provoke people. Do not let him drive you away.
Mademoiselle, your lovely friend turns her machine into art. Tell me, does she also play chess?
Oh!
Oh!
I am a damn good chess player, and she told you she's my wife.
It is my misfortune that we cannot play.
Well, I'd love to beat you.
Oh my God, you're talking to him.
My luck to get to hear this guy.
Did you hear what he said about you? How he wanted to paint you?
Mm-hmm.
Let's find him somewhere to go so he can leave. Now.
Okay. Well, I guess he should be right at home in Washington Square.
Washington Square, je l'adore.
No, we go there all the time.
Okay,
Find somewhere else.
oh, it says here he was a cross-dresser. He dressed up in woman's clothes and walked around the city.
Oh, Marcel, you have shocked me at last.
Was he gay or just a cross-dresser?
It was a commentary about love and art. But the imagination is never new. It always has its roots from somewhere else.
Well, they named the Prix Marcel Duchamp.
The Prix Marcel Duchamp is an award given by the Centre Georges Pompidou.
Okay, you are freezing. Thanks. Whew, okay, the fountain was named the most influential artwork of the 20th century.
Ha! Je suis un champion!
The Centre Georges Pompidou in Paris. Adieu New York, adieu America. Bonjour Paris.
Oh, he's gone. I am glad.
Good riddance.
You know, just because someone is dead or famous does not mean you have to like them. I wonder why he was the only one you could see and hear.
I don't know, I guess because I could see how he upset you.
Can you hear Madame Sarah? Please, say something.
Marcel likes to play the naughty child, but I confess I will miss our duels.
I'm pleased to meet you.
Enchantée, madame.
Can you see her?
I love the outfit.
Oh, merci, chérie.
Madame Sarah, you ready? I'll try to help you.
Oh, I don't know that you can help me.
Oh, but there's a lot about you. I could just start at the top.
Maybe just tell us what you remember about coming here.
My death was just a blink of my eyes. And when I opened them, I was floating above my coffin, surrounded by people as far as the eye could see, with more coming. It was 30,000 in all. It was a grand spectacle.
She was a legend. She still is. She has a theater named for her in Paris.
Yes, I blinked my eyes again and I was in the Théâtre Sarah Bernhardt. And the ghosts began to come through the front of the house and the stage door. And, oh, well, I recognize some of them. The director. The actors. Ah, the stage hands. Oh. Even some of the audience. Merci, mon frère. A theater full of the living is good. A theater full of the dead, oh, that's not so good. So I blink my eyes again and my name is no longer over the theater door and it is full of men in uniform speaking German. And more ghosts speaking to arrive. The wounded and the frightened and the orphan and the old and the infirm and the dead and murdered Jews of France, martyred all. I could not stand it, so I blinked my eyes again and I blinked until I found myself here where I was once happy.
Right. Madame Sarah saw so many dead people.
The history of France, like all of Europe, is full of blood.
Here, too. No place is free of human cruelty.
But there is love, too. I see it when I look at you. Oh, do you know, I was once asked, what is the secret to my power? And I tell them it is love. Oh, it is love, it is love, it is more love. Every experience of love just increases my power.
There must be other places, Madame Sarah, places where you were happy, places that still exist. Maybe your family?
I love my son. I still do, but he and I do not see things in the same way. When Colonel Dreyfus was accused, I thought he would stand with me, but he denied our Jewish heritage. I blame myself for that. We did not talk for a year. It was a terrible year, being parted from my son. When we were reunited, I vowed I would never speak of it again. And no, I believe him in the past where it belongs. But you know, I love my family more than life. Oh, that's absurd for a ghost to say, but their memories will be with me through eternity to pick and choose as I desire. My son, when he was an enfant. My mother, when she could be with me. My sisters, when they came to me for guidance. Oh yes, their memories, they would be with me forever.
What about some of the theaters in the U.S. you like?
It says here she once got stuck at the elevator in the Players Club in Gramercy.
Oh, mon Dieu, oh! Remember, they asked me to visit, and I asked to see the rooms of the great American actor Edwin Booth. And I got in the elevator, and it rose up 3 feet, and I got stuck. But, it was terrible, I was terrified. And there was a gentleman with me, very nice, but a stranger, far too close, and he saw my terror. He slowly lowered it back down to the ground. Whew. I did eventually enjoy my visit, but I had no wish to spend eternity there. No. Oh, but, if I could visit with Louise, as we did in life.
Who is that? Found it. Louise Ebema. She was an artist.
No, Abima. Artist sublime. I posed for her many times. She painted me, she sculpted me. Eventually, I began to find my own pleasure in painting and sculpting because of her.
She smoked cigars and dressed up in men's clothes.
Oh, cigars. But they go away. Oh, she's so handsome. So very handsome. I cannot find her in death.
Does it say where she can be found now?
It says here they spend a lot of time in a place called Belle Isle.
Berlin. some of the happiest memories of my life, apart from being on the stage and in films.
There were buildings there, and the Villa Lysiane is a museum devoted to Sarah Bernhardt.
You left all my glasses? Oh, what of Louise?
Maybe she's there, waiting for you.
I will find her. I will tell her of you and I will propose marriage to her.
The first ghost same-sex marriage.
She was more loyal to me than any of my lovers or my husband who abandoned me here in America. I will find Louise. We will tell the theatre and the museum. Merci, mes amis. I wish you happiness forever. I will show the living the art of acting. Louise will be my muse as in life. Merci, mes amis, à la tour. Louise, je viens à toi.
That's amazing. That trick with the lights.
I am so proud of you. I think they let you here and see them because they know they can trust you.
You always say I'm interesting.
Well, I can be wrong too, always. And you're not a suspicious idiot like your wife.
Hey, my wife is not an idiot. I resent you saying that. You saw them too, when you were ready.
You know what? Being in this room where we spent all that time when we hit that rough spot, I won't be sorry to never see this again.
Well, I'll miss walking down the stairs together after our sessions.
You always insisted, but it was beautiful. Let's go.
Hey, that is my scarf.
Who are you?
Who are you? I am Alice Lanson, the Baroness de Borte Salmo.
Okay, how do you spell that?
Oh,
Found it? Wow, Joss.
oh, Miss William Slater of Baltimore brought
They were
charges.
gifts.
All gifts.
Okay. Her husband threatened with suicide because of the humiliation. He went towards the window?
He was weak, a coward who would not defend his wife. I should have pushed him out the window.
Wow, what a terror. The story of your arrest made the New York Times in 1905.
Where is it? Where are these lies?
Okay, the story of your arrest is in the New York Times.
I was never arrested. I was detained briefly. They were gifts.
You already said that.
I will say it 100 times for all eternity. I was never arrested. Was that stupid old Mrs. Slater. She gave me the clothes and the bands, but her mind was failing her and she did not remember. Then that stupid Eliza Ball, oh, she accused me of stealing. She was just jealous of Mrs. Slater's attention.
Where were you from? Hungary, Italy. She claimed Sweden, but I bet she's really from Teaneck or Secaucus.
Oh, you have no cause to disparage me. I have done you no harm. I am the Baroness de Borte Salmo from Sweden.
Huh, here's another article, the Washington Times. The Austrian embassy will not interfere.
'Twas my stupid husband who alerted them. All of our relatives in the Emperor's court, and he spreads the news of my defamation.
Hungary, Italy, Sweden, Austria. Can you speak Hungarian?
Of course I speak Hungarian.
Then say something in Hungarian or Swedish. What about Swedish?
I will not subject myself to this interrogation. I am a baroness at the mercy of fools. Mrs. Slater did not remember she gave me the gifts, and finally she forgot she accused me of anything at all. And the whole affair was over, but my reputation in ruins and my marriage in They are going tatters. to tear down this building soon, so you need to go soon. So if you have somewhere to go, you should go. You should go before the wreckers arrive. Do you have somewhere to go?
not accept charity. I am a baroness.
You can give us something in exchange for our help.
What could I, a ghost, give to the living? Well, that is a very beautiful scarf. I bet it's French.
No, it's a replica. It's cheap. That's why someone left it behind in the trash.
Oh!
She's still trashed too.
No, well, this is a family heirloom. My Swedish grandmother's, now mine. But I suppose I will reluctantly part with it in exchange for your assistance.
Thank you. Do you prefer America or Europe?
Oh, never Europe. I cannot face the humiliation.
Oh, it says here she was in the circus. Weird.
Oh, I was a star in the circus. I was happy there. Perhaps not a fitting place for a baroness, but I was not proud. I loved the horses. I was happy there.
Well, that's too bad. The Ringling Brothers is out of business.
I was the star equestrienne for Barnum and Bailey.
Well, that's no good. And Cirque du Soleil doesn't have any horses.
A circus without horses? Impossible.
I did find a sanctuary for retired circus animals.
How does that sound? It seems right up your alley.
My alley.
It's a figure of speech. It just means it's perfect for you. Right? Just show her pictures. Just turn the tablet.
There you go. It's a slideshow.
Oh, the beautiful horses! Oh, but they're so old. Do animals become ghosts when they die? I would like that. Oh! There. That one. A handsome horse! Oh, he's looking right at me, begging me to come to him.
When the time is right, we will ride together for eternity. We will be as one forever.
Joss, the
It was something like that. She's a ghost. Where do we go and find her?
What? Where would we even look for her? At some animal sanctuary? She couldn't like.
I know, but right under our noses. Oh, well, we have to get you a new tablet. Would you like a French one? Oh my goodness. Well, at least you got your scarf back. Joss, what are you thinking about? Hello?
Frankie. I know how to fix chapter 3. Like exactly how to fix it. It's so clear to me.
Just like that?
Like this whole day. The sound of an old telephone could be heard ringing through every empty room. But nothing could be seen by the two young women. Nothing at all until I have to rewrite the first 2 chapters, but that'd be easy. And a new title. The gentrifications of ghosts.
Wow.